So I did a very, very quick mock-up. This is not what I used in my habitat or my rocket launch platform, but it's close enough. It's really, really quickly put together. And so basically you have 4 crater plates, or we use whatever you want. I use crater plate. And so on the outside, this is where the actual circle attaches on the 90 degrees. So, you know, north, east, south, west. and this is 4 plates tall to here to this if I can show you this, I'll zoom in really closely. So this Technic beam, basically, this is just reinforcement. I just made 2 Technic beams that cross each other, and this is floating onto. I didn't bother reinforcing all the way through. So this is the top of the Technic beam is 4 plates above the base plate. This plate here is 5 plates above the base plate, which is level with these tiles. Now these tiles obviously are here because something has to hold up the wing plates. So since this is 5 plates up, and since these parts have to be above the studs, this is only 4 plates thick. Actually, yeah, it's 4 plates thick. And so there's a brick, and then there's a plate, the blue plate, because of course the hinges are there, because you need the hinges. So this is 4 plates, or 1 brick plus 1 plate. And I put these little slopes on the 90 degrees just to make it look cooler. It's not greebling, but whatever. And so when you put the thing down here and you lock it down on the 90 degrees, at voodoo. And so now what you can do, and what I have done in my builds, is I didn't use an 8x16 tile here. This whole wing plate is attached all the way through, but for the sake of expediency, I did this. And so now you can, in here, fill this in with plates and bricks and whatever, walls and buildings, well, whatever furniture was what I did. And it's 1 plate below the ring. You can build up inside to be level with the ring, but you're gonna have this little jagged edge. I didn't want that. So I made the doorways for my habitat into the centers, because the outside is where the crew's quarters were, and the inside is where the cafeteria and all the other stuff I was talking about. And so the doorway would be here, and you just step down a plate in universe, and that was perfectly acceptable for me. And that's it. And so basically you can see on the edge here, that's very strong. You can see on the edge here that these edges here is 1 plate above the base plate, because of course the studs are in the way, so you can't lock it down. Now, somebody once a long time ago did a huge story on LugNet, the best place to find Lego stories back in the day, about the train track, the radius of the train track on top of base plates. And they figured out if you get like the 2x2 tile turntable, there's specific portions along these studs here that would be able to, if you turn the turntable properly, connect to these things here, or the train track or whatever. I didn't bother putting any effort into that at all. This is strong enough, especially when you start building on top with all this stuff on top, you know, blah, 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 and you build up. Let's just see, get this thing up. Look, brick separator, shocking. So basically like that, and you just start building up to your next level, and you do the same thing again. Now, I think my next part is going to be showing you this floor, because of course this thing's attached to the base plate, which makes it stupid strong, like very, very strong. The next level you have to strengthen on its own, and that's where this Technic beam definitely shines, because the Technic beam goes across this way and it goes across this way. And if you put the plates on top of the Technic beams, I mean the tiles on top of the Technic beams, that holds all this together. But also on the outside, because you got all this building up on the outside, the windows and doors and the canopies or whatever is you're building up, and you put the next ring on top, it's strong enough to stay straight. Without this kind of thing, as you saw, the thing turns into a bowl. And that's just because it's just a little tight. Unfortunately, like this, as I say, the 4x8s don't make a tight circle. This does make a tight circle, and that's why you need, what I think you need is hinge plates on top and on the bottom, and you have to hold the hinge plates in place with something to hold it, stop the hinge plates from popping off. Because if you're already building this, you'll realize that the hinge plates pop off until you get it to this stage. When you get to this stage, you don't have to worry about it anymore. This is done. And yes, people will say yes, but now there's tension on the connectors. Yes, there is. Not a lot of tension, especially when it's like this, but there is tension. So if you don't want to put bricks together under tension, yeah, you don't have to. I do. And so far, I've taken these things apart, and the hinge plates are perfectly fine. Your mileage may vary, honestly, but you know, it works for me. So I may do the next part because it's kind of neat to do the next level, but that's going to entail me building a whole other ring, and I just really not in the mood. And I do have to get those 924s and 918s out. So I think this is a good primer for whoever wanted to do this. And as I say, you fill in this area with plates and bricks and studs and whatever else you want to put in there, and you just put your stuff. You can use it as a landing platform. So on that specific note, because this is the original, actually, let me take this off. Put you in top, like that. In order to do this, I had to, because you can see, sorry, let's back this up. Let's back up a tad. That base plate has to be lower than this piece, because the studs here by themselves make it so it won't fit underneath here. So I have to go 2 plates down and then put the base plate, because the base plate stays on top of the studs, and then there's studs on the base plate. So this is only 1 plate down, because there's the plate here. This is 1 plate down. So me putting the landing pad on here wouldn't work. These things be popping up like that, because they still do, as you can see, and I'll show you in a sec. Except on the there's enough room in here. I thought I went 2 plates down. Maybe I only did 1. Oh, this is sitting on top of tiles, so I got rid of the studs that are holding it up. So instead of the tiles being here, they're one plate down, so this thing can rest on top of tiles. Because on the edge here, let me get there, you can see there's a gap there that's not obviously at the connectors, because of course it's locked in by studs. These things are floating a little bit, and the studs here push these wing plates up, so there's a little bit of a bow to them, not too much, but that's you know, I'm good with it. You know, in the end, you can see, and so every time I'm at a show, I'll push it back down, but that gap is always going to be there, because you got the studs that are perpendicular 45 degrees to these studs. So that doesn't work out, or whatever the angle is, whatever. So the only places they're locked on again is in 90 degrees north, east, south, and west. And so this entire plate inside is floating, basically. Of course, it's held into place by these tiles on the edges, here, 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 and here. So it can't move, because this inside diameter is 36 studs across. Sorry, 34 studs across. Let me just correct that. The inside diameter of the ring is 34 studs across, and the base plate itself is only 32 studs across. So I got to fill in the edges here with tiles, which holds the base plate from sliding anywhere inside here, but it is sitting right on top of here, right on top of tiles, but it's not moving anywhere. And it's not coming out on the edges, and you can see on the bottom, and of course the EL wire falls up, you can see the corner there, and there, and let me go over here, looking at the camera, there and there. So yeah, the EL wire is always fun. As soon as you turn it off, I keep on meaning to use hot glue and gluing it in spots so it doesn't pop off, because every time I'm at a show, I take it out of the bin, the EL wire is like hanging there. It just wants to not. It is so sad, because the EL wire is almost perfectly the diameter of a rod, a Lego rod or whatever, but it is not. It's just slightly smaller, so it will always it just rests in there. But again, since it's not upside down, so I would have liked if it was perfectly the same diameter, as the Lego rod or whatever, bar. There, that's the right word for it, bar. Because then I could put that on the bottom too, top and bottom. But since it just rests there and it can pop out easily, fall out easily, I can't do it upside down unless I use a hot glue gun. So this is how I built the rocket launch platform. I did this at the bottom, went up 10 bricks, and then did the other one on top. And then instead of using a base plate, I used the 8x8 grilled plates, which is modified grilled. Just absolutely fantastic. I used 4 or 6 of them to fit underneath here. And again, these things sit on top of tiles. And then I put a bunch of 8x8 in the middle, which works perfectly fine. I like that one. And then on the habitat, I did basically this, and I've just put plates on top of here so I could put tables and chairs and minifigs walking and blah, blah, blah. And I did 3 levels of those. And on each subsequent level where I needed the roof and floor, the floor and roof, because it's the same piece, I use this Technic design, except, again, this might be a video, but it's going to take a long time to do. I just might take this one apart. But it wasn't just the 90 degrees. I started every second one and having Technic beams coming in like this and building it to it hits the other one, right? Now, it will not line up where you could use a hinge plate, which is kind of sad. I was hoping it would. But I would skip 2 and then put 1, skip 2, put 1, skip 2, put 1, right? And of course, this one's on the 90, so it gets built into the wall on the outside, right? It gets built into this guy, you know, so it's up here sitting like that, and it gets just built right in. So that's strong now, and so it goes on the other side is strong. So it's strong there. So this is a tower piece. And this is a tower piece, that's a tower piece, and that's a tower piece, right? So, and then you put this cross piece of Technic beams in there, and then this thing sits on top, and then you have every 2, or every 3, as you would say, this coming in, and then one coming in here. And this would be built into whatever I have over there. As I say, on my habitat, it worked out well because this would be 2 window pieces like that. And so that'd be a window piece, not like this, is the whole fill build. And then there'd be another one of these there. It's kind of fun just taking pieces like that. You can do that with Lego. So window, tower, window, tower, window, tower, blah, blah, all the way around. And then the towers would always be in the northeast, southwest. And then these things would be built into here, even on these guys. And that was strong enough to hold the next level. And even have a strong enough floor to put the plates on, to put the guys on, and the tables and the chairs and the, you know, cafeteria and other things. And I did that 3 times basically. And I have on my Flickr channel, go on my Flickr channel, because I think I have some relatively good pictures of my habitat that I built. It wasn't that long ago when I built that thing. But you can see the interior, and you can sort of see how I did it with this all the way around. The other thing of note, if you want to build a Lego clock, or just get the mechanisms of your clock from your local shop, hobby store, and build a Lego clock face. If, for example, if this is 12 o'clock, you go 1 o'clock, it's 2, 3 over, and then exactly where all my posts would be, 2 o'clock, this is 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, all the way to 11, 12. But you could have a starburst Lego clock just by doing this and using these pieces for the backing. I've thought about it, I just haven't done it yet. So if you steal the idea, knock yourself out. But I do plan at some point in my life to build a Lego clock, because the geometry works out perfectly using this design, and then using the Technic bricks like this to hold the whole thing together, and just put the clock face right in the middle, and put the number 12 at the, well, for you it'll be 12 at the top. For me, this is the top, because I'm looking at it this way, you're looking at it that way. So 12, 3, 6, 9. Again, I have all these ideas, and just too many things going on in the world. Speaking of which, things going on in the world, I'm going to get into my email right now, because my good friend Jeffy, and I'm already 7 minutes late for his show. So if you want to watch me make a fool of myself like I always do, go to his YouTube channel. Jeff VW, and right now he is broadcasting live, but of course this video won't be up on my YouTube channel until after this thing is finished. But I'm going to enter the studio and I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. So I'll talk to you guys soon.